Ladies and gentlemen, it is a new era for wrestling for WWE, and it's only fitting that we begin a new era for Kickout Club as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kickout Club Wrestling. My name is Tyler, and I am joined this week. I'm going to call this Season 2. I'm calling this Season 2, Episode 1, and I'm joined today by my two best friends and cohorts. First up, we got Emil, the producer. What's going on, my friend?
I apologize today because I was hanging out with Travis Scott the other day, and it is what it is.
Unlike Jey Uso, Emil said yes. Next up, we got my boy and yours, Yusuf, our friend from Bizarro World, Bizarro
Hello.
Land. What's going on?
Hello. I bring news from Canada, even though I'm not in Canada right now.
And also Japan, and he's not there either. So
Precisely. And I think this is a good way to start the show. Is it true that Raw is on Netflix?
Yo, Raw's on Netflix?
no way, Raw's on Netflix?
What?
That's crazy.
So this is a game that we've been playing with each other for at least the last 2 months.
Whose game is it? Raw on Netflix. Yeah. Anyway,
And we just every 2 seconds, every time you see the ad, we just go, hey man, so Raw's on Netflix? And while we're all watching on our respective Netflix, we all just go, hey yo, did you know Raw is on Netflix? Did y'all know Raw is on Netflix?
I think they did. And honestly,
Apparently.
I was gonna talk. I was
Did you
gonna
know
say
that
too.
the WWE Network was $9.99?
That's hilarious. I saw
What?
someone else bring that up. You must have seen the same tweet I saw.
Did you see?
Was it Ryan Satin? It was somebody big in the
somebody
IWC.
like
It
that.
was like
Ryan Satin.
Ebo or Ryan Satin or something
Yeah.
like that. Y'all, it's crazy. As you probably know if you're watching this podcast, Monday Night Raw debuted on Netflix this past week in the States and internationally. And I gotta say, it's wild how many people in my life have now come to me and said that, like, hey, did you see that Raw's on Netflix? Which is hilarious because I have to chuckle every time. But also because like, how crazy is it now that so many people that in our lives that before were not exposed to this sport or this form of entertainment, I guess, are now exposed to it. It was the number one, at least in the States. Raw was the number one watch show on Netflix this week. It still is, and it's still beating out Squid Game season 2, which is absolutely fucking insane.
That's the stat. Beating out Squid Game is crazy because I feel
Big
like I can't go
news.
anywhere and not see that. Fucking
I
hell,
think
I turn on
it's-
Call of Duty
Yeah.
and it's Squid Games, man. Like so for
Yo, the
for
Squid
Raw,
Game zombie mode though, you play that?
I have not. I've also
You
never
should.
seen the show.
It's like
so-
red light, green light with zombies, where like you can run around and shoot zombies, but the second it turns to red light, you have to stay
Oh, you
still,
have to stay still,
which is
yeah.
fucking crazy because then the zombies will obviously like one of the biggest strats in zombies is to run away from them and just keep distance, but you can't move. And then there's also dead light instead of red light or green light, where a horde of zombies comes at you and you can't kill them. You basically just have to run from them and keep running until it changes. Anyway, sorry, just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, no. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool to see. It's so weird that I can just kind of like put wrestling on now.
And if you're international or you're in the States and get crafty and get a VPN, you can watch everything the WWE offers on Netflix. I watched NXT New Year's Evil last night with my VPN. So I was able to watch on Netflix in one easy spot for me because otherwise I would have to watch it on Sling and fuck commercials. So I watched on Netflix and it was cool because while with Raw, we missed out on interviews and promo segments and video packages here in the States. NXT was basically just like showing B-roll footage of different people and just saying, we'll be right back and having a timer. So like, still cool though. It's still very cool to have like a break without commercials in it. Cause I could just be like, all right, cool. I'm just going to get up and do something else. You know what I mean? I liked it. But, a whole new era for WWE indeed. They had the first edition of Raw, on Netflix in the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, which, my God, like the first 10 minutes of this show was like, I don't know if I've reacted in any way like it since WrestleMania, seeing Cody and Roman come out for night 2 in their respective entrances. I'm not trying to be exaggerating either. Like, it felt huge. Like, it felt crazy. It feels like the beginning of a new era for wrestling. I'm so excited to where we go from here.
In terms of that, regarding to them using the Intuit Dome, I think was a really good choice for their first Monday Night Raw in this new era because number one, they broke their contract of exclusivity with the Staples Center, and for the better part of what I guess 2 decades, like WWE has always done stuff at the Staples Center.
They were
If
like
y'all
the
remember-
SummerSlam venue for
yeah,
a few
they were
years,
like
at
the
least like 5
SummerSlam
years.
venue. If people remember,
Mhm.
like way back into 2000s, right, the late 2000s, and all the like the odd little things they do with like the Lakers occasionally. Does anyone remember the Lakers and Nuggets thing they did, where like it was a 5-on-5 tag match? I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy returned.
Mr. Kennedy returned that.
But
yeah.
who cares? Go Celts.
Go Celts. But
Wasn't
so
that
my
also
point.
the same day that he got fired again?
This is also the same day he got fired.
Yeah, because he injured Randy.
Sidebar aside, going to having broken their contract of exclusivity for the better part of 2 decades with the Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena now, and going to the Intuit Dome is such a big move, and not necessarily a gamble, but a huge move in that the Intuit Dome, for those of you who don't know, this is just going to be a little bit of a, not history, but this is a the more you know kind of thing, was built to be essentially the home of the LA Clippers, because the Clippers never really had a home. They always used the Staples Center, but they were never the team that belonged in the Staples Center. They're like the weird brother that you're like, hey, he's here, we don't do, nah, right? And Steve Ballmer, former CEO of Microsoft and like big tech boy, has all the money in the world, wanted to build something that was truly for the fans. So if you've ever seen photos of it or videos of it, it is the craziest thing in the world. It's like a $2 billion construction cost, I think it was, for the whole place. But Ballmer made sure of one very specific thing, and that was it was built for the entertainment of the fans. And you could see that if you were watching Monday Night Raw, because they have LEDs on the seats. They've got these crazy cannons of like laser lights and everything going up from the top of their risers. They're taking the idea, which I kind of like that a lot of new stadiums are doing, like SoFi does, is the 360-degree screen rather than like the giant Tron in the middle for like scoreboard.
Yeah, I like
Which
that it
is
also goes
sick.
out. Yeah, like I
And it
like that
goes
it rings
around,
around
too.
and the screen is on the inside so
Yeah.
people can look up wherever they're sitting and not have to
Yeah.
look straight up. The people in the middle don't have to look, don't actually have a place to look. First off.
So the thing is, a lot of old arenas had that kind of idea, but it was a lot smaller, and it was attached to the walls of the inside of the arena, so you have to like turn your head awkwardly or like look around. But this is like perfect eye height for a lot of fans, especially if you're up in the higher seats, to be able to see the action going on. And WWE and their production, to use that to their advantage for vignettes or for entrances. Like, oh my god, when The Rock came out, and just to see all of that going on, I'm like, this was
Yeah,
the
dude.
perfect venue to have your first Raw in this era.
Yep. I liked everything about the production, man. Like that entrance for The Rock, just to move forward and where the show went from there, because the show opened with a video package encapsulating, eras of wrestling and where we've come from, the days of wrestling being a circus sideshow act, of being one part of a circus show, now being its own thing and selling out arenas and stadiums worldwide. Is insane, and it took us through the territory days, to the 80s with Hogan, to the 90s and the Attitude Era, and now, and like the Cena PG era, and now, and I watched that getting chills the entire time, and then all of a sudden they had it projected on a like a sheet or a screen that were wrapped around the ring. It covered the ring, and then they had pyro, and then boom, one last boom, screen drops, and wrestling savior Triple H is there in the ring.
Hold on.
Oh,
So this is where I'm mad.
okay.
I'm so pissed off at the Fortnite thing in the middle. I'm so pissed off.
Oh yeah, there's also sponsors in the on the ring mat if you didn't know.
It's like AEW and WWE did a flip. All of a sudden now, AEW's like the clean mat, the bad booking, the old nonsense.
The clean mat, the bad booking. That's
not
hilarious.
wrong.
And
No.
WWE's like, hey, we're just going to book really fucking good. And we're essentially going to turn this into every fucking fan's dream.
And make a lot of money while doing it,
And just be completely indie at the same time and just put all the sponsors everywhere.
while also pricing our own devoted fans out of the market.
Ridiculousness.
Ridiculous prices. Yep.
Anyway, so the Fortnite logo really pissed me off.
Fortnite, Riyadh season. Fuck you to Riyadh season. What else? Real American Beer. Fuck that. Piss water. Fuck
Did
the racist
Prime-
piece of shit.
Did
Sorry.
Prime have their logo
Prime
there or
was
no?
nope.
Prime
was
wasn't there, right? Yeah,
No, Prime's only for pay-per-view.
Oh, was it only
True.
pay-per-view?
They got
Okay.
the pay-per-view deal.
That's
They said
smart.
that they could use it at their discretion, but they usually have like the Prime hydration
Hydration
station
center.
at ringside, which is so
You
dumb,
mean
dude.
the stupid
It wasn't
cart?
there this week though.
Yeah, it wasn't
No.
there on Monday.
I kind of forgot that was there.
That
And
shit's
I'm-
like
I
the
was actually-
new announce table, bro. That
See,
shit gets
I
broken
was-
every week.
I was bummed it wasn't there, especially during the first match. You know, things go on to the outside. I'm like, all right, where's the prime table bump? Where's the prime table?
If they want to get realistic, when are they going to use the fucking hydration station to actually get a drink? I've seen like maybe one wrestler actually
that
go
sounds
over
like
and
a Randy Orton thing.
bro, we
That's a
must
Randy
have
Orton
seen
move.
Randy do that because I swear to God, I
Yeah.
pictured Randy Orton doing it in my head. I swear he
I
I
could
can
sound
see
like a
him
Randy
and then
Orton
laughing
move.
Wait,
at it.
Yeah.
what if it was Mania during the triple threat? It might have been with Randy and Logan and KO. It might
I
have been.
don't remember.
It might have been. But anyway, I digress. Amazing opening. And then The Rock comes out as we were talking already. The 8K cam follows him down the ramp, which, by the way, the ramp also, they took a page out of Saturday Night's Main Events book. That ramp was slim. That ramp was skinny as hell. Usually
Long-
there's like...
Long stage though. For
Long
what?
stage.
On stage
For what?
spawning.
Yeah, it looked like there were... You said it in the chat, Emil, too. Like, it looked like there were a couple of entryways that looked like on the far sides that they just didn't use.
The way the angle, I mean, the all the stages always like you could go around back and kind of skip gorilla, but I maybe now it all feeds in the gorilla. But I looked at that and I went, oh, that's interesting. It's like tunnels, but it's not, and they could come out of either side, so like there's more chances to get a high five or less depending on how you look at it. Or the faces, heels, whatever. You could do it that way. Different tag teams. Because it's like, right, why would they all just be in the back and next to each other when they want to kill each other? If you want to make it real. Anyway, so Rock comes out, as Tyler says. I didn't. The production on the show is gorgeous. That's kind of my view on that. Like this is stunning. I mean, it's Netflix. It's big. And it's the Intuit Dome. I'm very curious to see what Week 2's production looks like as versus Week 1. Week 1 is a spectacle. Week 2 is the work.
Yep. Yes.
This is a pilot. So like you can train anybody to watch a pilot. My mom can watch a pilot. But can you come back for Week 2, 3, 4? And you know, once we get into the arenas that are 50 years old, we don't have all these cool toys that the Intuit Dome has. So we do have to. I am curious to see how this will look. It'll look a little bit more normal.
Yeah, this is not what the regular setup's going to look like. And that's why I think we're all curious to know what that regular setup's going to look like, because
It'll be the same thing. It'll just be less.
I don't know if the stage will be the same. They might use just this regular stage, like the stage they've been using for regular SmackDowns and Raws.
Maybe.
Because it's similar to what they used for it, right? It was just like the short and long LED strip with like the ends kind of came up and did like a flare up kind of thing, so it looked like horns or something. I don't know.
And then the little tunnel.
And the tunnel. The tunnel looked cool. There was lights all in the tunnel
The
too.
tunnel looked cool. I think they're gonna stick.
I would get really.
They're gonna stick to the little tunnel from now on. I mean, the thing is also right. They want as many people watching from home on Netflix, because apparently it's on Netflix.
Wait, Raw's on Netflix?
Supposedly. And they want as many people as they can in the arena, right? Dwayne Boy said it best: 17,000 plus. Plus.
We don't hear
is
those
the
numbers.
keyword.
We have
That
They
plus
like
did
the
some
plus.
heavy lifting.
It
It's-
does some heavy
it's-
lifting. It's a nice part of the
We
number.
don't hear those numbers for Raw anymore. Usually it's staying around 10 to 12, 13,
Yeah,
maybe at
exactly.
most. So
And-
that's a nice number to hear. We don't hear those numbers.
Oh, yeah, of
Anyway,
course. And
that's
having
how I was
the-
saying.
Yeah, having the small stage helps because then you can have fans on top of that, right? Like they want the
Like they did.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
They want the atmosphere to be that consistent moving forward because now the whole world is watching.
Yep.
On Netflix.
All right. So as Tyler's was getting into, I'm gonna steal a little bit of time. The Rock comes out, and this is where shit starts to get interesting. So
Or confusing.
Both. Really.
what the fuck was this?
I'll tell you what this is. And first let's recap it a little bit. Rock comes out. He's not the final boss really. He doesn't, and I was waiting for him to like actually like swear more. He didn't swear all that much. We talked about it in the
didn't
chat.
say nothing.
He swore more at NXT New Year's Evil last night. When he was censored every sentence. But he came out and basically was just like, yeah, Monday Night Raw, wrestling is cool. Hey, Cody, say hello to Mama Rhodes for me. And then like said something else, and like it just seemed weird. We're like, first off, he starts talking about Cody, and we're like, oh shit, is Cody coming out? And the camera pans, and he's just standing there, and he's just like,
By the way,
Again,
standing there without the
WWE
title.
being a sitcom nowadays.
Yeah.
No, deadass. That felt like Trick Williams. That felt like my
the
boy.
Trick Williams, right?
That felt like my boy Trick Williams. and the pan.
Hands camera.
It did.
Hands camera.
It did. And yeah, Cody's just standing there. We're like, wait a minute. Why is Cody just out there?
Wait, why is Cody not with the WWE title?
Yeah, why is he not
Where's
holding the
the
belt?
That was an interesting trend throughout the night. Nobody had their belt except for the women's world title and whatever.
Yeah, except
Well, that's because they actually wrestled for it, though. It wasn't like they weren't just out. I wonder if they're. I hope they don't change that, because if you're a champion, you want to carry that shit everywhere. I know the wrestlers always say they want to carry it everywhere, even though it's a bitch to carry. They do want to carry it everywhere. But like, yeah, Rock comes out and he's a babyface. And he's acting like nothing ever happened. And Cody's acting like nothing ever happened. There was a moment where Cody looked a little uncomfortable that Rock was making jokes about Mama Rhodes. But, like, it's like, it feels like this promo was taken from, like, 5-10 years down the road and just planted in 2025. Right? Like, it felt like The Rock and Cody had already done their business. Bygones were bygones, and then they're just like having a laugh about it. But that's not what we saw like 7 months ago on the Raw after WrestleMania, when Rock's like, I'm gonna be back. I'm coming for that title. I am going to end you, Cody Rhodes. Like, that's literally what this man was doing, and now he's back like, haha, Cody Rhodes, doing great out there. Yeah,
Thank you
say
for
hello.
making me money.
Say hi to your mom for me. Haha. You know, like, it just felt weird. It felt
And
weird.
and he's doing the Moana bit, which now I don't want
he's
to see. I don't want to go see it now
because
because I feel like he does it more, and that's just gonna...
So
Bro, I
just
saw
kinda
people on
kills it.
Twitter just like, can I get a choo? It's so funny.
Strange. There's two takeaways from the Rock promo that I had. Number one, I thought this was hilarious. I was rewatching it. I think I guess the day after, and yesterday, really. And with my sister, who has not watched a WWE product in quite some time, but is like following other wrestling. Anyway, so we were watching it because I'm like, dude, it's on Netflix. You gotta check this out. Like, it's cool, right?
Wait.
What?
Raw's on
Your
Netflix.
Damn it. He stole it.
It is? Anyway, so we're watching the promo, and Dwayne's doing that whole bit where he's like, I gotta give credit to a man that's carried this company on his back for a year now. You know, dripped blood, blah, 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 blah. Talks all about this. And my sister's watching this and she goes, man, that's a lot of nice things to say. Kind of weird. I go, yeah, I guess so. And I know what he's talking about. She doesn't yet, right? And then he goes, Cody Rhodes. And she's like, was he not talking about Triple H?
I thought he was going to swerve and talk about
And I'm
himself.
like,
That's what I thought. I
he was
thought he was
gonna
going to talk about himself or Triple H. But like,
or Triple H.
yeah, I thought he was going to, like, that's what he does as a heel.
Yeah,
He
so my
tries to
sister
be
goes-
nice and then spins it around. He's like, nah, it's really about me.
Exactly.
Fuck you. You
So
know?
my sister's like, was he not talking about Triple H? I go, no, he's talking about Cody. And she's like, well, okay, sure, cool. The second thing, I feel like this whole promo isn't necessarily a retcon of the events of last year, but it's also, you got to remember the context of everything here is that Dwayne's on the board of this company, and for their very first show on this big streaming platform, in which I will not say the name of because it's kind of a big deal, right? Like, execs are there from TKO, execs are there from Netflix, because apparently they're on Netflix. So why not have one of the biggest names in wrestling, who is also on your board, come out and be the company man? And I think that was the whole point of the promo at the end of the day, was for Dwayne to just be the company guy. Fuck everything else for 1 minute. Let these 15 minutes of him spieling away about random shit be about the company. Then he can go back to being Dwayne.
So before we dive into that idea, the next night was NXT New Year's Evil, and Rock was closing the show. Love Rock for going to NXT to give all those kids a rub. Great job.
I'm so glad that young up-and-coming talent, The Rock, got that mic time that he needed to really, really cut his teeth and really hone in his craft on the NXT stage. He took 10 minutes of the main event away from probably what every other match had. It seemed like Rox and Julia went a little short on that show, and I think they probably had to cut a couple things because of The Rock needing to make time for Dwayne. It was all thrown together very last minute, and I believe that the way he said it. Because he was like, hey, he basically was like, yeah, I mean, I was already in town for the Golden Globes. I was in town for Raw. So like, hey, you know, NXT's in town. You know what? I'm gonna come, and he's like, my daughter's the general manager. I'm gonna come out, basically. I mean, he didn't say that, but they didn't.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but I think there was something that came out later saying that he had that planned for like 2 weeks.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's actually crazy.
I allegedly, I feel like I saw that, but I
don't know if I've seen that, but I'm not gonna.
Maybe
No, you're good. I'm not gonna shoot that down.
So The Rock comes out though on NXT, and then he cuts this weird promo telling us what we were saying on Twitter. So now we're in the story, right? So now we're confused because now we're like, huh? Because he's not quite being final boss Rock either. He's not being like this over the top heel. He's not really telling the fans not to do things. He's not, being just an asshole. So we're at this weird point where he's playing this really fourth wall breaking character, right? Everybody knows he's on the board. We all know that. We're all obvious to it.
They made mentions of it for people that didn't know, for new fans
of it. It's very strange how they handle that though in story. But he's now confusing us by putting us in the story, telling us that it doesn't make sense how you dapping him up, and then he's telling us to shut the fuck up. So
you shut your mouth and enjoy the ride the Rock is taking you on. Yeah, like that.
I think we've all been played.
1,000%. That is 1,000% the story. This story, and I was gonna wait to say it till the very end. First, real quick to jump back to Raw for a sec, he did end the promo on Raw by saying he was going to be watching the next match, which was Roman versus Solo Tribal Combat for the Ufalafa, very closely. And we'll talk about what happened during that match later. Yeah, haha. But yeah, so
for record, we read off a note, and that's legit in the note. He wrote that out.
I also just said it because it's the Ufalafa. We all agreed that we were going to call it the Ufalafa from now on, so I thought. But anyway, no, I'm just playing. But yeah, this is all ploy. This is all a game. This is all like, first off, I think it's a little bit of what both of you are saying. Yusuf in particular, I agree. He's a board of director. Think about it. Raw's on Netflix. It's a brand new platform for them with millions of people that have never watched wrestling, haven't watched it in years, or thought about it but haven't, or did and fell off, right? This is their chance to get back in. Their play is to pull in as many new fans as possible, and those fans do not know heel Rock. They know the Brahma Bull. They know the People's Champion. They know the babyface that The Rock is. So that's why they had him come out and play that character. And I think what he's going to do is try and be an executive on screen and be that babyface. Maybe come out and cut some face promos, pop a rating here and there. Sure, that's probably what he's going to do. I think he's playing everybody as well, Emil, taking what you were saying. I think he's going to be, I've been saying that. Oh, there goes my light. Anyway, I'll fix that in a sec. But anyway, basically, it's going to be a whole thing. And actually, I'm going to do this because it's probably going to be a clip if it goes well enough. There we go. Yeah. It's all a play. He's going to get his buttons pushed. He's going to be reminded of what Cody did to him. Something's going to happen. Something's going to trigger Rock between now and WrestleMania where he's going to snap. And maybe it's Royal Rumble. There is a chance that, I'm not saying that the leaked lineups of Royal Rumble were real. You're muted. But 31 Rock at 31 in the Rumble could very well be possible. Could very well be possible if he gets pissed off enough. Maybe it's all a red herring, like he came out and cut these face promos just to pop in at Royal Rumble at 31 and win it and turn heel and be like, haha, I got you all, you suck, fuck you, Cody. And then we set up Cody Rock. I swear, people in the IWC are fooled. They really think that Rock is completely abandoning this story. There is no way that The Rock is abandoning any of this. There is no way in hell. Even he knows that there is money to be made in him being a heel character.
There is a play for the play right now.
Yeah.
It's fantastic to watch because I don't know what's real. And I'm part of the IWC, and it annoys me.
Yep.
So,
but that's the point. That's the point.
Thank you.
Bottom line, you heard it here first.
Because now I have to watch, and that's
right.
The point.
That's right. And the bottom line is that Kickout Club was right. When The Rock turns heel again, you will come back to this and say, damn, Kickout Club was right. Anyway, the next match that opens the show is Tribal Combat, Oos. It's Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, the OTC versus the new Tribal Chief for the Ufalafa. if you will, the red necklace
The falafel, yes.
for the falafel.
For the falafel.
For the role, the role of tribal chief, which again confuses the fuck out of us because The Rock came out and cut a face promo after announcing he would be on Raw, using a video on Instagram where he talks about being High Chief.
Well, okay, so that's a cultural thing, isn't it? Right? Because
No,
like he's a high chief.
Yes, that
it's
is
an
that-
honorary
that is-
thing,
that
right?
is
Yeah.
like
So
a real thing.
That's a
Yeah.
real thing.
But
It is a
I'm
real
doing this
thing.
with my
The-
arms
it's gonna-
to
I think it's gonna play into the gimmick,
yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
which is I think again that's kind of the point. Hook, line, and
But
Okay.
now it's like, but now the story is like, so for at least for us right now, right? We're all thinking that The Rock is going to turn heel at some point, right? But now the question for me is, who does he turn heel on? We still don't know if he's going to go after Roman or Cody. There is
the
still a
whole
chance.
roster.
There is,
Yes,
bruh.
everyone.
We're not
That-
running back with The Rock. We're
Number
not running back
30.
that.
31.
We're not running back that match that John Cena and Orton had against the entire Raw roster, are we?
That was a great match.
Yeah, but
Only real ones remember that one.
That didn't
True.
happen.
No,
true,
We don't acknowledge that.
because
but
it wasn't on Netflix.
true. Wait,
Uh,
what do you mean? Wasn't on Netflix?
And,
Isn't
and,
Raw on Netflix?
and somebody else wrote that.
what are you
Yeah.
talking about? Okay,
But anyway, yeah, I mean, like, there is a chance still, especially with the High Chief talk, that Roman could be Rock's target after all.
I'm still under the belief that Roman is the target.
So to make a long story less long of the match was what it was.
Yeah,
It was bloodline shit. So
Yep.
that's what you're gonna get.
It
You're
was
gonna get
slow.
bloodline shit.
It was
It
slow.
was
It
slow.
was slow,
It took
and
a
then the
while.
cameos.
It was
And then
slow,
the
a lot of
cameos.
dialogue, and then cameos.
Yup.
And we had Jimmy and Sammy come out to Sammy's music, just Sammy's music. Jimmy didn't get his own entrance.
Jimmy
Jay
never
got
gets his own
it. Jay
entrance.
didn't even come out. Kevin Owens came out, which is pretty surprising.
Which is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is fun. It's a less predictable cameo that was made. I'm
Which
happy
then,
about
of course,
it.
brought the always predictable Cody.
Who then came out from the ramp, even though
Which
he was
is also
just
in-
outside in the crowd.
Which is also interesting that he helped Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he
Again.
helped Roman again.
Again.
But then The Rock came out after the match.
I mean, he's coerced, but
Right.
still.
Yeah,
And then The Rock came back out after the match and came to Paul, Paul Heyman, who was holding the Ufalafa, as it were, and was like, "Wise man, may I?" And Paul was like, "Okay, High Chief, here you go." And The Rock presented Roman with the Ufalafa, put it
And he
around
did
his
nothing.
neck. And nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Which
they shook
further
hands, they
proves
hugged.
my fucking point, gentlemen, that the end of Bad Blood did not need to happen. Stupid.
We're
Stupid.
all in agreement.
Stupid.
That
I
it
really,
never needed
I really want to
happen.
burst your bubble. I'll burst your bubble off air though, because it's irrelevant to what we're talking about right now. But
Okay.
I have a bubble
Um,
burst for you.
Okay.
The thing is, right?
Wasting
like,
our goddamn time, and
Yeah.
it's one of the few times in Triple H's WWE that we're experiencing these moments of waste my time. However, we play the long game around here. I'm not totally, convinced that this isn't just to throw me off the scent. All of
move-
it kind of just confuses me, and
Yeah.
that's the goal.
It's Rock Roman or Rock Cody in my eyes, but Rock's doing something at WrestleMania. I think we can all agree.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know if I
the
can agree to
natural
that.
assumption. Well, here's the thing, right? Dwayne is very good at just being like, The Rock doesn't need to do this. Blah 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 blah. And then, like, when you least expect it, he just shows up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing in The Rock's company? The Rock is here. Didn't you just say you were doing nothing? Shut the fuck up." "Okay, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Board of Directors, sir. Do my bad."
'Cause-
The ending of that match and the whole, okay, congrats, Roman is tribal chief again. Right, great. He gets the falafel back. I could go for some falafel. Anyway, Rock comes out and he's like, "I want to present the falafel." Sure. And they shake hands. They have the moment, the handshake meme from Predator when Arnold and Carl Weathers are, dapping up. Anyway, it was like that for a moment because they got the close up shot of Roman and Rock's arm when they dapped each other up, and I'm like, okay.
They're
weird.
trying to remake the shot from the press conference.
They are trying to remake the shot from the press
Yeah,
conference.
and we all were waiting for the Rock Bottom, right?
And then they hugged.
We were
and
waiting
you
for
could
something.
see Rock whisper something into Roman's ears, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's something."
And as
I-
per usual, we
as
never
per
get to
usual,
see the
it
lips.
was nothing, and we were like, "Okay, great." And then they were still in the ring for a bit, and I remember the three of us were like, Rock's still there, Rock's still there. Roman has his back turned. Dwayne, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Nothing.
They set me up for another Shield move. too. With
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
back turned right in front of the ropes.
Yep.
Fucking
Yep,
I was like,
absolutely.
come on. I was like, Brock, there's a chair outside.
lame.
Go grab the chair. Do the thing. Do the
Moving a
thing.
little bit away from the Rock stuff, Roman Reigns sold the fuck out of getting that Oofalafa back. The way that he looked like he was about to burst into tears, but also like drop to his knees and thank the Lord that he's got the Oofalafa again. It was gold. It was gold, man. It was exactly what I wanted. And honestly, I will say before the matchup, I will admit I did not appreciate the Wise Man while we had him. I didn't appreciate Roman as much while we had him either. The introduction before the match where the ladies and gentlemen, dude, that shit hit. That shit hit.
Fucking time.
That shit hit.
Since Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't hit, but I think it's also that Roman's not hijacking the title anymore and working part-time with it, that I can appreciate it. Because it was hard for me to appreciate good stuff when he was holding up divisions. Listen,
Rome's
I told you, I love Roman and respect the character.
1,316 days.
Yep. And the last 300 were
Rome's
mid.
Details.
They were mid. Come on, they were mid. The last 300 days were mid. He defended the title like maybe twice, 3 times, 4 times, somewhere there.
Whatever.
But it's fine. Like, listen, I agree with you. It was a great title reign. I'm not
Totally
saying...
worth it.
Right. Next up, we had John Cena come out and kick off the John Cena Retirement Tour 2025. Comes out with a brand new, I know, very sad. The end of all of our collective childhoods begins this year. And Cena comes out with new blue and white color scheme for Los Angeles, for his new attire, for his new merch wave.
I'm wondering if he's gonna run it kind of like how he did with Prototype, where he never wears the same colors twice, or he flips them, or does like sports teams or something. I wonder if he's gonna.
Potential.
I think knowing Cena, he's probably
all
gonna
of
base
them
it
are
off
kind of
cities.
like branded.
Yeah.
Like that was they were all kind of branded LA, so I'm thinking he's gonna do a lot of different.
Yeah, he said
It's gonna kind of combine like the C Nation color thing.
I think it might be like the red shirt for the year, like for the not important stuff, and then the big stuff might be
whatever
the,
city, major
whatever
city
the,
they're
yeah,
in.
the limited runs, you know.
Yeah.
But like the default will be probably the red one that they announced at Toronto.
Yeah.
I hope so. I also need to get that shirt. My goal is to get at least one of the Cena shirts before the end.
Same.
Same.
But yeah, man, Cena comes out, cuts his promo, and he's winning a world title this year. He basically confirmed it with this promo because he was like saying he hinted toward all the different people he could wrestle: Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and who else did he say? Carmelo? Oh no, he didn't say Carmelo. He said Drew, Gunther. Yeah. And kind of ran through those. And then said like, oh yeah, like, you know, he basically teased the idea he could break the record, win his 17th world title. The fans went nuts, and he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see it. I don't see it in my future. He's like, look at the talent we have today, which by the way, Drew McIntyre is right. The talent today is fucking fantastic. Probably the best talent we've seen in wrestling, period, ever. But listen, Cena's like, I'm not that. I'm not as good as the wrestlers of today. But damn it, you are, John, and you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. I've never been so wanting to root for John Cena until I like at any point since I was like in 5th grade when I first started watching wrestling. This is the most I've been into Cena. The fact that he's like, I'm probably not going to win a title this year tells me he's probably going to win a title. And he goes, I could get the title by winning Money in the Bank, Elimination Chamber, or the Royal Rumble. Oh, maybe I should enter the Royal Rumble. Okay, and he basically talks himself into entering the Royal Rumble.
He's losing that Rumble.
He is not losing that Rumble.
He's most certainly the last one getting thrown.
He's winning.
So
The only way he
I
loses,
throw him out.
I was gonna say the only way he loses is if Rock comes out and does it.
I'm gonna be honest. I know they want to update their record books. That's the whole gimmick here. But everybody and their mother kind of knows that Flair did more than 16 at this point. Like, that's not an uncommon fact anymore. So it means less to me once I learned that. But I get that they want to update the record. I think the more interesting concept is giving Cena that last belt to get that Grand Slam.
That's fair.
I think that's more
fair.
fun.
I think if he does win a world title, what I would
But
like...
then he has to lose to somebody who we probably don't want him to lose to.
Yeah, unless it's Braun Breaker.
That's a waste of my time.
That's not a waste of. Shut up.
I mean,
Shut up.
no.
How's Braun losing the title to begin with to get it on Cena? Is Cena already
Maybe
pinning him?
Cena beats him.
Oh,
And then Braun comes back and beats him again. I don't know. Maybe
Don't
Braun
love
moves
it.
up to the world title. Maybe Cena does
Love
something
that.
else. Yeah, I agree. But here's what I think happens if Cena wins the Rumble. If they go with the Cena theory for the Royal Rumble, if they go for the Cena theory, Cena should challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. Gunther should hold the title. And because Punk and Rollins could be non-title, even though it probably will be run back at WrestleMania for the title, it should be Cena wins Rumble, challenges Gunther, and beats Gunther. Not only does he then break the record in WWE's mind, but he wins the new world title that technically isn't affiliated with the lineage of the one he already held. So this is a new title he's never held technically.
Better idea. Okay, now obviously, if you're
No,
on
he's
the
not
internet
going
like
to
we're-
Japan. No, he's not going to Japan.
What do you mean we're not getting Kenny Omega and John Cena? I
Shut
want
up.
it. So should you.
Oh, I was gonna say Tanahashi.
That's later.
AEW would never allow it.
No, they would not. Unfortunately.
WWE.
WWE
very
would never
open
allow
to
it.
allow it.
WWE would
Nah,
never allow
Trips
it.
is very open
No
to it.
way. They
No,
didn't even.
I
They
think
had
Trips
the
will be
chance.
open to it.
No,
I think Trips will
no,
be very open
no,
for Kenny
no.
Omega. It's Kenny Omega.
It's AEW. It's AEW. They don't.
But
They don't
Trips,
even want. They
that's
had
true.
the chance to say that I think it was Punk came from another company, and
That's
they
true, and they were like,
and that they had the chance to say Punk came from AEW, and they said you came from another company.
Why would they?
You came from a.
Well, to be
why
fair-
does that? Why does the
to
A
be
equal
fa-
B in this scenario though?
To be fair,
Because
to
they don't
be
even
fair,
want to
though-
acknowledge
no,
it.
no, hold on.
They
hold on,
literally
hold on,
had
hold on.
Sami Zayn go on TV and say the 3 letters in an
Yes, they did.
electric chair.
To be
Did
fair,
they have
though,
him do that, or did he go off script?
Hold on. To be
For
fair,
real.
the events of Punk leaving said company were probably not the greatest events, so there's a good fucking reason why they wouldn't want to say that out loud.
But for who though?
That's a good point. Anyway, no, here's my thinking, and it actually has to do with Punk. So if you're on the internet like we are, especially if you're on Twitter and all that, you see like rumors going around of like what the plan might be. Even earlier today, I saw a report that the plan is John Cena is either the 1 or 1A option to win the Rumble this year, meaning if he's not the immediate option, he's the second best option next to whoever they have to potentially win. And the other one that's been going around is the plan potentially for Mania is Cody versus Cena. But I kind of want Cena versus Gunther more. Like you said, makes more sense for the world title. It's not a part of the original lineage. So for Cena, it's a brand new world belt. And that would add to the collection already. He'd hit 17. We're good. However, better idea. Cena wins Rumble. That is part 1. Gunther goes into the Elimination Chamber to defend the World Heavyweight title because Gunther is a fucking maniac and would be great. Gunther loses the belt in the Elimination Chamber to CM Punk. And Punk just says, "Hey, John, look what I've got. I know you want it again. So let's go. One more time. In the main event of WrestleMania. A title you've never held and a position I've never gotten. Let's go. Let me cook. Punk versus Cena.
I'm in.
There you go.
You lost me for a second there. I was like, no, don't like that.
The only
Don't-
reason
like
You gotta
Gunther
make
getting
it make
shoved
sense.
out of it though.
You gotta make
don't
it make
love that
sense,
for
though,
Gunther,
right? Yeah.
but
well, you have Goldberg cost Gunther, and then you set up Goldberg Gunther.
no.
Yeah, rock with me, boys. Rock with me.
No.
All right, nah, but okay.
could not.
In all seriousness, though, the reason why I say Cena Gunther would be great is because I think that Gunther's character has heavily relied before the whole like bitch boy Gunther era, where he was like, I'm weak, I'm sad, I can't win matches, whatever. Before he got his mojo back, he was the guy that was trashing on all the legends. He was trashing on Brett. He was trashing on Goldberg. He's trashing on all these different legends, and because he's the best in the ring is sacred, and this is a great sport. And he's doing what the legends didn't do in bringing wrestling to relevancy. That's been a huge tentpole of Gunther's character, and I think having him go against Cena would be the perfect climax of that story unfolding. Being the guy yeah, Cena carried the company for a whole era, but guess what? Gunther's the one that picked it up and has been carrying it since. Because wrestling is sacred, and he wants to carry it into a new era where wrestling is the forefront. Not the merchandise, not the hustle, loyalty, respect, but the ring, the wrestling, the mat being sacred, all that, right? Cena comes in, he's like, nah, I'm getting my belt. I'm getting my belt. So that's the move. That's the move. I think it's Gunther and Cena. I hope it's Gunther and Cena. Probably it might not be for all I know. I don't know if it's Cena Punk yet. I can't see them not going Cena Punk at some point in 2025. So I wouldn't be against. I definitely wouldn't be against it. But yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff with Cena.
You want with Cena, it's you want to give him what he wants, right? And that is good, consistent matches over the year. Probably a world title win. You want to put him in like the marquee. You want to put him in the marquee spot. Yeah, we have Cody, right? But you want to put Cena in a marquee situation. Like it's his retirement year, right? This is they're advertising this like crazy. It's gonna be the biggest thing to talk about all year in wrestling. And Cena Gunther is a very, ooh, we want that. We want that so badly, don't we, right? But there's other things we want with Cena. Cena versus so-and-so, Drew, whatever it might be. But everyone does want that Punk rematch, right? And if it's for a world title, you up the ante a little bit. If it's the main event of Mania, oh. And think about it. It fits both the criteria, right? It's a title Cena's never held. So Cena's fighting for a new title. And it's a spot that Punk's never had. Something that John has had for so long of his career.
And we get to run it, and we get to run back one of the best matches of the PG era.
Exactly. Right.
So fucking hell. All right. So we're not. Nobody wants to put Cena in like some actual compelling stories here. We just want him to do a bunch of matches and
no. They're really here's the thing. It's not that. It's not that. This is going to be.
Can we get a 6-month little odyssey out of him before we kind of like?
I think we could. I feel like they're going to do a 6-month odyssey, but they're going to do that in the back half of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, they're gonna focus on the like let between now and
let
June?
This be. I want a car crash from now till WrestleMania. We know from last year that car crash booking for WrestleMania season is the way to go.
Yes, but here's the other thing too. Think about it like the scheduling of the PLEs, right? Between now and June are all the car crash pay-per-views. The Rumble, the Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank. It's just gonna throw Cena in all of them. All right, let him fucking hit a Canadian destroyer off a ladder. Let him do whatever the hell he wants in the chamber. Let him throw like 4 people over the ropes in the Rumble this year. I don't know. Just fucking do whatever you want. It's John Cena. Between now and June, when assuming Money in the Bank's in June or July, right?
Yeah.
Look, that's car crash season. Just have fun. Do whatever the hell you want. But from July to December, whenever Cena's final match in the company is, make that the Odyssey. How? Don't know. But you make that the Odyssey. Because you have SummerSlam to the end of... Essentially SummerSlam to whatever is after Survivor Series. Right? You've got all that time to write out the last... Like, literally, it is towards the end of one of the greatest eras in professional wrestling. It'd be the best time to do it. Because, slowly getting closer to the end of the year. For John, by SummerSlam, he goes... I've only got 6 months left. And then you go to, from August you go to September. Or no, I guess from, you've only got this much time. Like, I've only got 5 months left, 4 months left, 3, 2, I've only got a few weeks. I've only got a few days. This is my last match. And then you say goodbye.
Here's something else to pose to you, because it might not feel like an odyssey from now until WrestleMania. But what if he gets to WrestleMania in a world title match, whether or not he wins the Rumble, and he loses? And he's like, fuck.
Love it.
What do I do? And the rest of the year is the odyssey of Cena trying to get a world title.
Love it.
Thank you.
Because then the obsession
I'm always a fan of them losing the big match.
And also,
but then if it's Punk gets the Mania main event and the win.
Wow.
If it's Punk. And if it's Gunther to the moon, baby. Gunther to the moon.
Oh,
it will not be. If it's Gunther,
it has to be Gunther.
It will be Gunther. If he's not winning, it's Gunther.
The other thing too is you can finally,
Punk's
if you have Cena lose, we got to keep moving on with the rest of the show. But if you have Cena lose the main event of Mania for the world title, right? You can start to push the dark side narrative. I got to do anything at all costs to get that final world title. You spin it. You don't have to, right? But you can. You can kind of spin it like the HBK narrative against The Undertaker, where he was just so fucking obsessed with wanting a rematch against him, he tried anything he possibly could to get The Undertaker again. You can do that with Cena. You don't have to go full heel turn. We don't need that now in 2025. Okay, we've been asking it for 2 decades. We don't need it, right? But just slowly be like, hey, John, look over there, the dark side. There's cookies and jorts and whatever your house rules allow.
There's cookies and jorts.
All right, let's speed this up a
Let's
little
keep
bit
going.
because
I have one last thing. Hold up, real
Fine.
quick. What if it's Cena Cody, then Cena turns heel?
no
No, Cody's turning heel in that case.
hard
Fuck.
pass.
Anyway, go ahead.
Cody's the heel, always the heel.
Anyway, what was that for
All right,
Cena again?
let's start speeding this up because while we're gonna try to speed this up, this is where the show starts to slow the fuck down
Nice.
because we get to this Rhea and Liv match and it's 9:00
And it's just okay.
and we're supposed to be at a 3-hour, but we can be short, we can be long, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
The world
But
is
we're
our
also
oyster.
The world
tired.
is literally their oyster right now. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So this Rhea Liv match happens, right? Where we can kind of acquiesce that this was a match.
This was a match that happened. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I can't say it wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was probably just like in the middle okay match.
So hold on though. Can we also what's the Mandela effect that they pulled on us?
What
They-
Mandela
they-
effect?
There was definitely a last woman standing attached to this matchup.
Oh, there was. No, there was. I
There was
looked up
most definitely.
Was
while we were
most
watching.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a
I
graphic.
Googled it.
There's a
There's
graphic.
graphic.
They build it as
can
last
put
man
it in-
standing.
Ty can put it in our chat for you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So
Maybe I'll even add it in post. Who knows?
They hoodwinked.
Probably not.
They bamboozled. They lied their ass off. AKA Rock took too much time and he didn't even
Yo,
do
low-key?
that much.
Probably.
And he didn't do anything really. And he didn't even really stay out there that long either. So also strange. The women got the short end of the stick of this. But Rhea won. Duh. We can finally move on from Liv Morgan's revenge tour. We can finally move on from the Rhea Ripley revenge tour. We can move on from all of this. Dom took his fucking thing like a champ. And now Dom is probably also on the outskirts. So it is what it is.
Liv Dom is
but-
probably over.
But the only story that is even remotely somewhat satisfying here is the Undertaker cameo, which was so stupid. What a weird fucking time to put that. I don't know. I couldn't figure out the connection. I was like, he didn't train her. He didn't like. I don't remember her just being like, oh, I was a really big Undertaker fan.
Well, Damian Priest
they're
really
both-
aged.
Hey, for real, the Terror
They're
Twins.
both.
One of them is
well,
not
they are
doing
both
well.
tall,
They're
and
both
they are
tall
both spooky
tatted.
looking.
They're both goth.
and tatted.
and
they're both
gothic
goth.
and like probably
Yeah.
motorcycles.
They both. Does
Supposedly
Undertaker have
she'd-
any ties to the country of Australia? Or
Supposedly-
continent,
Supposedly, she was
No.
completely unaware that was happening until he
rather? I
came
think
out.
everyone was.
That
no,
was
no, they
strange.
weren't. They weren't. I was spoiled because Yusuf, when we were talking about spoilers, and I said I got spoiled on something big. There were people outside doing a kickoff outside the arena, and they accidentally showed the production
fucked
team
up.
accidentally showed camera feed of Undertaker testing the bike in the arena beforehand.
They fucked up.
They fucked up big time.
Yeah, they fucked
fucked
up.
up.
big time.
I
However,
don't remember. I feel like did I see that and then tell you to shut up? Or
Maybe no,
No,
something else. I don't
no,
know.
Or-
that was something else. I responded and was like, I got spoiled on this thing, and you didn't see it. I don't think.
Oh, I know what the other
okay,
thing was.
'cause
That's
I
the
did
thing
miss that.
after this.
so
Yes.
So anyway, so that all went down. That was weird. I heard the gong and then went,
Yep.
and then I saw the bike and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's the badass forever now.
Yep.
We no longer get hat ass and trench coat ass anymore.
That's fine. That's fine. That's how he should be.
Understandable, but also annoying.
And we're now setting up for Rhea versus somebody
Who-
at
who
WrestleMania.
cares?
Probably
Io.
Becky, maybe
Probably.
Io. I want Io to win the Rumble and
Io
I'd
face
would
say
be
it's
Becky,
nice.
Io
or face
winning
Becky
Rhea. I
the
mean,
is
Yeah.
looking very likely if you read the rumors. We're moving
Yes.
on. Let's keep
Yeah, we
moving
gotta
on
move
though.
Let's
Keep moving.
Because here's the next part
to the
of the story.
worst
That's
match of the night.
to the worst thing we have seen all year. Don't worry, the year's only 8 days old. So
You
it's
think
fine.
that? Yeah, I was gonna say you think that Rhea and Liv was the worst? Was or no? Was cut for
Somehow.
time because of The Rock? This match
Well-
was probably cut for time because of The Rock.
It this time was cut because they realized Jey Uso has no offense.
No, stop
And
it.
Let's not
Stop
get
it.
ourselves now.
We can't
Stop
get into this
it.
here. However, there may
today.
be a pod sometime in the future. where
Sometime
we
in the
get into
future
this
where
idea,
we get
because
into
this was
but
this is an argument in and of itself.
Y'all are
Anyway,
ready
so,
for a doozy with this one, y'all. I'm
so
telling you.
Jey Uso comes out following a Travis Scott smoke session.
This man just comes out, drink in hand, unopened can of booze, assumingly booze, the hardcore championship belt that was made custom just for him. Which, by the way, where are replica hardcore
Nah, fuck
belts?
us.
Anyway, and a blunt, just a blunt, A blunt.
This
It
was
was
great.
lit. He smokes it. He takes a big puff, and then Jay comes out.
And then Jay comes out, and then we move on with the rest of our day. Travis Scott was very clearly a little too inebriated because he was just like standing there, and it was.
They
maybe
said
the
it was
funniest thing
supposed
I've
to be
ever
a
seen.
performance because he was doing
I
the
was
new
gonna
theme
say, wasn't it
song,
supposed
and
to
then
be
he
a-
just came out and just vibed.
He definitely showed up late and definitely was too up in the clouds.
They always get these random hip hop art. Not random. They're not random. They're big. They're big names. They're
I was gonna
Yeezy
say
and
Sexy
fucking
Red
Travis
is
Scott.
not-
Oh, I was thinking Yeezy from Mania.
I was
Or
thinking
not Yeezy. Fucking
Lil Wayne.
Yeah, Lil Wayne. Yeah.
I was Sexy Red.
Yeah, Sexy Red.
Mhm.
Well, that's NXT. Sexy Red's NXT.
That's
But nah. Yeah. Travis comes out, does his thing. They play his music, and then they just cut it off and play Jay's
So,
when they
at
realize
this
he's not
point,
singing
the-
anymore.
At this point, the real question was because of the paraphernalia on screen. Thank you, insert streaming service here. Then the real question was, well, can Drew bring the sword and just give a little slice?
I was very curious about the sword.
No, he can't bring out the sword. But here comes Drew McIntyre, and
Not yet.
then they proceed rather to have the worst match on Raw that I have seen in this year.
Man,
There's
that's
only been one
crazy.
episode.
I'm not even going to
Um,
engage this. I don't care
This
enough.
I
I really
was
don't.
Bad. But
I'm just gonna give my
Drew
quick
won.
2 cents. Drew won, and it's just
Guys, I just have to
Okay.
wait, no, he
say.
didn't. Jay got a roll up.
No,
didn't he?
Jay
no,
won.
Jay won.
Jay got
Sorry,
a
yeah, you're
roll-up.
right. Jay won. Jay won on a roll up. I forgot. See, it's been like 3 days.
See,
and
this is
already
why I can
forgot.
trash it because you don't like the
Yeah.
outcome of that. That's stupid because it's stupid.
Listen, guys, I just have to say I am so sorry that this show was not fucking made for you. My God, this isn't for you. This isn't for us. This is not for the hardcore wrestling fans that are like, "Oh, the story says that Drew has to win." No, this is mainstream audience, and the mainstream audience should see Jey Uso get a win. He's a big name. He's one of the biggest baby faces in the company, whether you think he's a terrible wrestler or not. And for the record, I don't. But yeah, anyway, this wasn't for us. This was for Jay and Drew. And I honestly, I think this was a way for Drew to put Jay over before Drew gets shipped over to SmackDown when they solidify the brands a bit. And Drew will go on a tear and win the world title, probably, at some point. But yeah, it's fine. Drew will probably get a rematch down the road and get a win back. And then Drew will continue his path, his quest to get to Roman Reigns. Maybe at WrestleMania. At this point. Yeah.
Probably.
So that
I
happened.
mean, at the end of the
You know
day,
what else happened?
Hulk
else
Hogan
happened?
got
Raw was on
booed
Netflix.
out.
Well, let me tell you
the
something,
damn
brother.
Oh yeah,
building.
him.
Crazy work.
One of
also,
the best
also,
things I've
I,
ever seen.
I love the Easter egg of him just reusing his RNC speech.
Dead ass.
It really
Dead
was.
ass.
I love that Easter egg.
He used the same speech and just swapped out the names for Netflix and WWE.
Fantastic.
So dumb.
I don't even
Hogan
want to talk about
clearly
this
knew
promo,
the vibes
but
going into that.
yeah, I want to talk
Um,
about the aftermath because it was just
There's aftermath?
hilarious. Like, well, just on Twitter and the internet, right? People are like, Hulk Hogan gave his life for this company. This company would have grown without blah blah blah. And people are like, yeah, great. We're still gonna boo him out of the fucking building.
He's also a racist piece of shit.
Yeah, that doesn't change anything. Like, we're still gonna boo him. Like, like
Yeah.
the sometimes I forget that Hulk Hogan has to come up in the conversation of, do you separate the art from the artist? And my answer is, in his case, no, you don't, because he's just been that person for 40 years, 50 years, right? Like the Hulk Hogan, everyone that like all these people grew up with in the late 80s or 90s, it's the same dude as a human being. The character of Hulk Hogan just became a real person. Like, he's not referred to by his own fucking actual government name anymore. He's just Hulk Hogan. Everyone just knows him as that. So, look, we can't really separate the art from the artist. And at the end of the day, yeah, he got booed out. Did I feel bad for like 5 seconds? And I'm like, wait, this is Hulk Hogan we're talking about. What am I saying? I felt bad for Jimmy Hart. Horrible for Jimmy Hart. Poor Jimmy Hart.
This dude said, I am lucky to not be
Well,
Hard
yes.
R.
Yes,
Hard
he did.
R.
He did. And
Fuck
Hogan,
him. Fuck him.
The Hulkster, I think Jessley was booed out of the building. And at the end of the day, um, we can live in an era without Hulk Hogan, you know? And I know after that, Ric Flair was like, I still got one more in me. And everyone's like, no. And I'm like, we can live in an era without
Please
Ric
don't
Flair.
do that.
Because here's the thing, and a lot of people were like, well, why would these people in the Intuit Dome boo Hulk Hogan? Most of the people in that arena did not grow up watching Hulk Hogan. They know about Hulk Hogan because of his antics and his political beliefs and things like that. They didn't grow up watching Hulkamania. They didn't understand. Like people like maybe younger than my dad, but like my brother's age, right? 40s, like late 30s, 40s. They appreciate Hulkamania for what it was. The keyword is was. You appreciate Hulk Hogan back then. Hulk Hogan now is just worse. Right? So
Yeah. I mean,
that's
like,
just what it is. Like we didn't grow up in that era, so there's no appreciation.
There's no attachment.
There's no attachment. It's like I talk about this with hockey a lot, right? Not to sidebar, but I want to make this quick. When I did an event years ago where Wayne Gretzky was there, and it's cool. He's the greatest hockey player of all time. He's also Canadian, but he's the greatest hockey player of all time. It's awesome. And my dad was like, "You weren't that excited to say hi to him and talk to him." And I go, "The thing is I respect Wayne Gretzky for what he did for the sport of hockey, but when he retired, I was 3 years old. I didn't grow up watching Wayne. I grew up watching all these other guys. And the same thing with wrestling. We didn't grow up watching Hulk Hogan. We grew up watching the Cenas, the Ortons, the Batistas, the OVW class of the 2000s, right? Like that whole thing. That was our prime era of watching wrestling. It's where it all began for us. And I get it. A lot of people are still like, oh, you disrespect. Yeah, no offense. Hulk disrespects like everything else. Fuck, just let him be and his dumb beer. Can we get away from this segment now?
Fuck Hulk Hogan, but Seth Rollins is still saying fuck CM Punk. So in the main event of Raw on insert streaming service here, we had CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the fight. That was the fight of all fights. It was kind of just a match. It wasn't bad. I won't say it was bad. It was kind of, we're not gonna kill ourselves. We got WrestleMania. The callback to his match with Jon Moxley was cool. I didn't know about that until I saw that on the internet. So thank you, internet. You guys are always so quick. The double GTS spot, because I think we all kind of cornballed that one.
Yeah.
We did. We were like, of course.
We were like, well, that's a sell.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We laughed.
That was Rollins' just subtle HBK level fuck you.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah.
But also he's paying homage to Roman, which was, I think, one of Punk's last matches on Raw.
Before yeah.
So that's also kind of fun. All of it's fun because there's just callbacks that you can kind of make out of it.
Wrestling is fun.
Wrestling
that's
is fun.
just it. Wrestling is fun.
Punk winning kind of forwards the narrative, I believe, that we're kind of putting Punk somewhere in a world title scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or at least making Punk a viable option, because right now there are a few viable options in the world title scene. So
yeah,
that is a concept of conversation.
Which then had me confused, though, because then in the post show he declared for the Rumble. Which
yes,
I'm like, I personally thought if he was beating Seth and his point, like the point is to, get him to the world title, he should challenge Gunther. But I guess not.
Why do the big stars, I thought this is something we could actually get away from. Why do we still have to declare for the Rumble? Like, we already know y'all motherfuckers going to be in it.
It's just fun. It gets
to
the
make
crowd
it seem
hyped up,
official.
Right?
Yeah,
make it seem official. It gets the crowd hyped, especially if you do it in the ring.
So where is my Darren Young application for the Rumble? Like where are all these small time wrestlers? Where are all their declarations?
I would like to see that. I would like to see Rumble qualifying matches. I would like to see the bingo cage with the balls
back in the day.
I don't need to hear that Shotzi's going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. But where is my Shotzi's declaration of being in the Royal Rumble?
Right.
Where is it? You're muted.
He's muted. Or we make it fun while he's muted and start talking. Or we have the fun. We have two women's world champions again. We have two men's world champions again. Why doesn't one of the world champions say, "Hey, for fun, I'm declaring in the
I'm going to
Rumble.
try to become blank.
Because
two
they
belts.
watched the 2016 Royal Rumble where Roman Reigns lost the WWE title to Triple H.
Well, they
Need I
never
say
said-
more?
Do they need to put it on the line though to enter?
They
Is
don't need
that
to
like,
put it online. Oh, that'd be interesting.
or would that
That'd
be a
interesting.
stipulation?
That'd be a
That
whole
would-
concept.
that'd
And
Nobody
probably
would ever
be-
do that if
but-
that was a stipulation.
Yeah, exactly.
No one would
Anyway,
then offer themselves up. I
No.
think offering yourself up and being like,
Yeah. Going back to Punk,
could be an interesting story.
It could be. Going back to Punk, though, because on the topic of interesting story, yeah, he did say that he's declaring for the Rumble, and the plan is, as far as I know, in this year, to make the Rumble as just car crash and ridiculous as possible, right? Because we know that the following going in, whoever wins probably is going after Cody, or they could go after Gunther, right? Punk has his business, why he wants it. Him too, and I'll get to him in a second, maybe. Punk has his business of why he wants to enter the Rumble. He wants the main event of Mania. That's all he cares about. Cena's entering the Rumble because he wants title number 17. Is Orton hurt right now? I can't remember. Is Randy still out? He's still out, right? Yes.
Orton has medical.
Oh, right.
jargon.
He's
has
medical
his, like-
jargon. Oh no, that
he
was
has-
Cody. Cody had medical
No.
jargon.
Randy does
Randy
too.
also had
From
medical
KO,
Randy
yes.
still
Yeah,
has
from
medical
KO.
jargon as well.
Also from KO. Maybe Randy makes his surprise return because
Medical
Randy also goes,
jargon.
hey, John, I'm also not far from the record. I would like that main event spot for a world title. Let's go. There's so many narratives going into the Rumble this year as to why people want to be in the Rumble, and then there's a narrative of who could show up. For example, if you say his name, he will appear. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Y'all are
Anyway.
gonna be so mad when it's not him.
I know, right? I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be furious.
I honestly won't
actually.
care.
It might be
whatever.
Moose.
It's not going to be Moose. That guy's an idiot. Anyway,
So Punk
I have
saying
to
he's
keep a
declaring
canon
for the
going.
Rumble.
I've been a fan of Moose for forever.
Moose is great. Punk declaring for the Rumble in his little post-show bit with Jackie Redmond basically screams Punk being like, I am so fucking tired right now. This time last year, I got injured, and I don't want to be hurt no more, and I just want what I want, and that is the main event of WrestleMania, and Punk's gonna fucking do whatever it takes. So, like, the declaration of the Rumble thing is just increasing the narrative for a lot of people, and that's what we need for the Rumble coming up, right? Is you increase the narrative, you just keep the fucking ball rolling until we get to Rumble night on February 1st in Indianapolis.
We need to kill a few mic segments. That's what I'm hearing.
well, we
Yes, we
also
do.
need to get to Saturday night's main event on January 25th.
Ain't nobody give a goddamn about that right
You
now.
don't.
I don't.
I kind of do.
I'm
Nah.
kind of. That might actually be
They
Saturday
should,
night's
you know what they should
glorified
do for
house
Saturday
show.
night's main event? They should do this for Saturday night's main event. They should have a match between like some of the big boys that are going to be in the Rumble.
Tag teams.
Winner gets the number 30 spot.
Tag teams for days.
That too.
No,
Winner
I'm down
gets the 30
for
spot.
I'm down for the 30 spot thing. Have
Yeah?
Cena
Make the
and
Rumble feel serious again. Because there have been some good
Loser
Rumbles in years
gets
past.
number one, and
Loser
winner
gets number
30.
1, winner gets 30.
That would be
Exactly.
fun.
yo
Make it
and have
worth
Cena
it.
Punk and Cena beats Punk and Punk comes in at number 1 and wins.
Yeah. Basically.
Cody came in at one and won last year, I think.
Also, an interesting stat is that Cena, if he did win this Rumble, that I just thought of, if Cena does win this Rumble, that would be his third, which would put him in league only with Steve Austin and I want to say Shawn Michaels.
It's HBK and Steve.
Yeah. Yep.
Or Cody could win this third
Ugh.
as a
Let's
world
get-
champion.
It's gonna be Cena or Punk, I think, or
Yeah.
Rock if Rock comes in.
I was gonna say it's gonna be.
It's gonna be Dwayne.
It might be Dwayne.
It might
I'm
be
really
Dwayne.
trying to accept the fact that it might be Dwayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
I'm
find
really
out.
butthurt by it.
we'll
We have
find
a few
out.
weeks to find out.
We have a few weeks.
Um,
Until then.
Real
But
quick,
Joe Hendry wasn't on that league, I don't think either. So
no.
No.
Or no, he
He
was.
will be
He
there.
was on the one I saw. He was.
Oh.
Real quick though, just to wrap up. Now that we've kind of talked about Raw. Raw ended with Punk on top. Cool, love it. Anyway, yeah. So NXT New Year's Evil happened, and we have a new NXT Women's Champion in Julia, and a new NXT Men's Champion in Obafemi Darula of NXT.
Thank
Pretty
God.
sick.
We
Good
also
show.
Love
we also
that.
have Lexus King as the new Heritage Cup champion.
Good
nice
for him.
beard.
Good for him.
Yeah. Good
Anyway.
stuff happening in NXT.
I'm ready
I-
for good times.
I would like to kind of go back to Raw for a second. So we've kind of been touching on kind of our overall thoughts and our opinions, but we've been kind of like going through segments. But the night overall was a strange night.
Yeah.
right? Let's kind of do this overall thing here as we kind of start to wrap up, because this was huge, right? And for all the hype that they put into this show, I felt zero hype maybe once The Rock came out. I lost a lot of aura very quickly with this show.
Interesting.
You're the only person I know that thinks that.
And I don't know what it was. Did I hype myself up too much?
It was Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa might have killed my vibe.
I vividly remember Solo coming out and it was silent and you were just like, all right, I'm over it. I was like, okay. And listen, I get it, because Solo's been the guy on SmackDown. He's been carrying SmackDown, but it's been
what happened in the first 20 minutes before Solo came out? We had
the most talented Samoan,
a crazy promo with Trips and the whole like cinematic of it.
Thing.
Then The Rock happened.
Yeah,
Triple H.
And
What is
and then
Astoria?
And then here comes fucking Roman, and now it's like, all right, ba 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 ba. All right, like I got it.
Wah 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 wah.
I got it.
Wah,
Like
wah, wah, wah,
I know
wah,
your
wah.
theme is cool, but you're killing the.
We losing it all.
So I guess the question though is like, because there is some internet concern, right? There's some internet thing, and I actually have tried to stay off of all the normal people that I would go watch their Raw Netflix stuff. I haven't seen Sam Roberts yet. I don't think Chris Van Vliet's put anything up. I haven't heard Undertaker.
Well, he's got feelings, so you should go watch it.
I haven't looked at any of like the normal stuff that I kind of scroll through because I was like, I want my opinions to be mine for this, and then I want to go like see if any of my thoughts kind of change when I hear other people's opinions. So I haven't heard anything yet. So I don't really know how the internet's responding to this, but some of the things that I saw that wasn't like the big names people were kind of also disappointed by the show. The show seemed very strange to those who have been watching and following and staying in the trenches. Now, obviously, I understand the point that Tyler has brought up multiple times where this wasn't for us.
No.
And I think that's a little strange. I don't love the idea of that. I think that the reason they're here right now is us.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that is true. But that's always the truth, right?
At the end of the day.
But to me, though, in wrestling, like we have earned this. Like we've watched for years. We've suffered through 1995, some of us.
Or 2010.
Some of us have suffered through 2010. All of us suffered through 2017.
Ugh.
Or 2019.
Ugh. And
we
the
were
pandemic.
There.
And the
we
pandemic.
Were there.
Thunderdome.
And we stayed there. We didn't leave. And if anything, I wish something happened that was for us. And I don't really know what that is. That's the weird thing, because they did continue the stories. We saw people we liked. We cheered for the things that we did love. We booed the thing that we hated. And so I don't exactly know what that means, but there was something missing that was for us. Maybe just that promo at the beginning was for us. Like I don't know. I didn't feel like we didn't get much service out of this. And because of that, there really wasn't anything totally interesting. The wrestling wasn't that interesting most of the night. Nothing like was super crazy. Rock didn't even swear. Like, what the fuck, man?
I want to wrap this by how do I put this? At the end of the day, yeah, you're right. It wasn't catered, so to speak, towards us. Tyler's right. It was right, but at the same time,
say it again, brother.
That won't work for me, bro.
No, he doesn't get paid to do that.
None of us get paid.
You want to change my contract so we can have this conversation?
There was
some of us have negative dollars to do this.
That's true. At the end of the day, this was catered towards the mainstream audience. The vibes were catered towards the mainstream audience with the graphics, the arena that they chose to be in, right? Everything about it. Opening with The Rock, because at the end of the day, a lot of people that are, out there nowadays don't know that The Rock wrestled. They don't know that Dwayne The Rock Johnson was a professional wrestler. They just know him as an actor in really bad movies. So they go, wait, The Rock is in he's doing professional wrestling? I gotta check this out. And they're tuning in on, and that's the point. That was the whole idea of the show, I felt, after rewatching it. Because, yeah, The Rock's out. Okay, cool. The vibes are definitely up there. And, the ambience of the atmosphere, the lighting and everything helps. But yeah, the vibes felt peaks and valleys throughout the whole show, and definitely not like a high point, but it was, mid overall. At the end of the day, the show was being catered to welcome this new global audience, not just for the wrestling fans, but for the mainstream, right? Bring that in, because at the end of the day, Tim, at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys heard, but Raw's on Netflix.
Holy shit!
Oh my god. No, I get that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that can go into this too. Like we said, this is a pilot, right? First episodes always are like, how am I coming back? Although if I'm a casual, where there was nothing kind of to like, it looked like things kind of wrapped up. It looked like they wrapped up things. Like Punk and Seth looks wrapped up ish. I don't think it is, but I don't know if they'll do a trilogy. So I'm kind of curious about that actually. Cena just declared that the next time he'll be on TV is in 4 weeks.
So that's continuing a story for the new people. This is the first night of Cena. That was the first night of Cena's tour.
He was promoting something that they then can't watch for free on Netflix.
Yeah.
So that's the point. That's the point.
Why do I want to pay for Cena when I don't know who he is?
They know who John Cena is. Are you kidding me?
Knows who John Cena is.
They know who John Cena is.
They know John Cena, the actor.
So work with me.
I'm working with you.
Because it's a pilot, right? Like, so if you had learned, if you had learned that a character was going to die on a pilot, and then you couldn't even see the finale of the pilot, like, what the fuck? Or the finale of the season.
Well, that's the point. WWE has to be like, all right, you like this John Cena story? You got to buy Peacock too, so you can see the premium live events if you're in the States.
No, I'm cool. I just want to watch the whole season. And to
be fair, the international people already have Netflix, which is where everything WWE will be broadcast. So everywhere else except the States is fine.
Oh, so fuck us.
God.
Basically. But the Peacock deal is up in 2026, and my guess is that they're going to move PLEs to Netflix.
So again, let's to speed this up a little bit. This conversation. I do understand the concept. I'm gonna do the same audio evidence that I did with the Joe Tessitore thing before I said it sucked. I'm gonna say it right now. It's week 1 out here. We're all just trying to find the vibe. It's cool. I got it. Whatever. We'll figure it out in 6 months when Mania is no longer a thing and all of the new shine has worn off and all of the rosters are set. Because right now everybody can do whatever the fuck they want.
I was going to say next week, too, is a lot of the stuff that was going to be on week 1 that was for us wrestling fans. Case in point, the debut of Penta. They said it was going to be this week. They pushed it to next week. It's going to be Gable versus Penta now, when it was supposed to be Penta and Rey versus New Day. And then also the finals of the women's IC tournament. That was for us, too. Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria, mainstream audience didn't know either of them for a hole in the wall. Next week, that's for us. So, yeah, I think that was their point. They're going to move it all to next week. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that just about wraps up our show. We'll start Best in Wrestling again next week when things are more regular, and also to recognize time.
Do we say we talk wrestling on Wednesdays now?
On Wednesdays.
Wrestling Wednesday.
On Wednesdays, we talk wrestling.
Are we sticking to Wednesdays?
Ladies and gentlemen,
is that what we're doing? Okay.
Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. This is
Wait, you didn't sign a contract?
There was a contract? Raw's on Netflix?
What? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Kickout Club Wrestling. My name's Tyler, joined here, as you know, by Emil and by Yusuf. It's going to be us for most of the weeks, if not all of them. We have a couple occasional cast members that'll rotate in and out. If you're new, like the Netflix audience for Raw, because, Raw's on Netflix, if you didn't know. But yeah, follow us on TikTok at Kickout Club. Follow us on Twitter at Kickout Club as well. We're Kickout Club everywhere, basically. There may be a 1 instead of an I some places, but that's because we couldn't get the username. Go figure. But y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week. And we'll see you on Wednesday. See ya.
Kenny Omega for AEW World Champion against Cena.